in arms and have compassion and forgiveness for all those people in this world that are going through the tough times. Frank Jordan and his group have been on Wolf Spirit Radio for more than a year doing incredible work, bringing people the galactic connections that Frank has, using the clearing systems that Frank has. We're also joined by Frank's group and Tracy Kennedy. And part of this all-day marathon, Standing in Your Power, is so that we share toolboxes, that we start with a clean energy field, that we all come from a place where the sharing does not have greed or hierarchical structures in it, so that each person stands in an equal footing. Frank, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wonderful to have you on, Frank. And this is going to be an outstanding show that we have planned for all day today. And you've been doing quite a bit of work, and this is your normal scheduled hour. Why don't you tell the new guests who you are and what you've been doing?
Well, we developed the Earth Mind Think Tank group almost 3 years ago now, so just simply meditation. We'd get on Skype and meditate together, and I'd lead them in certain types of meditation that help to access and open up their inner channels to higher consciousness, and also into Earth Mind, where we learn to work with all three levels of consciousness and learn how to manifest and demanifest, literally, things in Earth Mind or over soul. And so it's been a spiritual growing process as well as a physical enhancement of things that needed to be altered or changed or improved on the Earth. We work a lot with earthquakes and solar flares, weather patterns, and things of that nature. And we notice that for some reason, if we don't get on our regular 2 times a week, which is Saturday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, if we happen to miss any of those, we see a substantial increase in earthquakes almost within a day or two. So we've learned to be very dedicated and detailed, and I have a very committed group here that through working with the earthquakes, they continue to evolve themselves because they're expanding their consciousness to those levels where they can get attunement to anything that they want to. Literally what it amounts to is we've learned that the Earth has a chakra system, which most serious metaphysicians know anyway, but the Sun has a chakra system, and the solar system has a chakra system, and the universe is a gigantic chakra system. And the frequencies that interplay through all those levels of consciousness involved are things that we can access because we are aspects of the God Force consciousness. And when we get the attunement and the channels and they're led into the right questions, then we can access incredible amounts of information. And one thing that I learned in the process of doing this, in working through crystal consciousness and silicon dioxide, computer chips, and all of that, I learned that the Earth is a living consciousness with its own chakra system, and that the Earth, the crust of the Earth, is 73% silicon dioxide. Well, that makes it one gigantic computer chip. So that everything that has ever happened in the past resonates right into that amazing computer that we call Earth. And through attunement and understanding that, we learned how to go back in time, following the standing waves of time back, and we can tune into anything, anywhere, and pick up impressions, or sometimes, in the case of our own past lives, some pretty important factual information of what it is that's creating our reality now. So through all of this, we've grown to the level of understanding that we do create our reality. And if we don't create our reality, it's just a matter of the past carrying through the 0 point into the future, and it just goes on recreating the same thing again and again and again. And the path that we're all on is to higher consciousness, greater levels of understanding how things work. And the challenge we've had is precisely that. Understanding how things work. And I'm talking about spiritual, mental, emotional, psychic, all the levels of consciousness and attunement we can play in. So that's where we're at. We meet twice a week to do the earth mind work. And we meet on Sunday nights for 2 hours. And in that, the first hour is some class or some lesson or some information or sharing information. In the second hour, we do actual healing through Wolf Spirit Radio. And because it's the very initiation of our broadcast a couple of years ago with Wolf Spirit, we discovered that when I conduct a healing, there's a flow of energy that comes through me from the galactic center. That's all I can call it. And it originally started coming in through our computers, well, through me and into our computers. But as I learned to attune and associate with the frequencies and understand what they were, I realized that what we were getting was the flow of pure unconditional love coming in from the galactic center, supporting us, nurturing us. And as it passes, that energy passes through our heads and down through our heart center, we can alter those frequencies into any form that we desire. And in the case of the healing, which is where we learned how to do this, with healing, we simply resonate out to perfection to whoever we're working on, whoever calls in on the show. And an astounding thing happens. Anyone else in the listening audience that has a similar problem can pick up those frequencies of energy, that pattern that I've used for 30 years, whatever it might be on a subject, and they pick up on it, and they are healed at the same time the person on the call-in is. And so we're using that to great advantage all around the world now. Dave says we have the largest download on many weeks here on his show, and we greatly appreciate that. And it is spreading. The word is moving out. We get calls and emails from all over the world now. So that's where we're at, Andrew.
That's wonderful, and I have been a fan of your show for quite some time. Part of this marathon we're doing is a sovereignty, standing in your power, and there's a tremendous amount of people that are really convinced that there's a revaluation of currency coming from the Iraqi dinar, and this has been going on for literally 20 years. People have had 20 weeks, 30 weeks in a row. It's next Monday. And many of these people are wonderful people, and they're just caught up into a wave of energy that goes nowhere. Do you think you can maybe use your Earthmind think tank to take a look at this Iraqi dinar revaluation and give it some positive energy so people can come to remedy and resolve with what they've been pulled into?
Well, certainly. It's really a battle between the positive and negative forces of consciousness on Earth that evolved thousands and thousands of years ago. It's been passed down through first of all, the civilizations and the kingships of the Anunnaki and on down straight through into, as we got more sophisticated, more education, the educational system picked it up to program people to think and believe and according to how they wanted them to think and believe, and as much as they wanted them to believe. And the second thing is the religions. Religions have been a powerful thing in inhibiting freedom of consciousness on this earth. And, of course, we can go on to all the other things. We won't spare time for that today. Your question is, what can we do right now in this incredible crux that we're in to implement powerful forces that can neutralize or negate the opposition force that doesn't want us to have this money, this abundance that is potential to us now. And why don't they want us to have it? Because 5% of the population on Earth owns 95% of the material assets of Earth. Well, look at that. Where's the power? Well, the financial power is with that 5%. But where's the spiritual power? It's with the other 95%, and that's us. And we work a lot in our group with group mind energy. This is what makes it work. when I send a response out to someone for a healing request over the Wolf Spirit, it's not just me that responding to that call. It's the expanded group mind of everyone in not only my group, but the entire group of listeners who are becoming attuned to these energies and frequencies. And so that's where the power is in group mind. Now, individually, yes, many of us bought the dinar. I did too, hoping to do great, wonderful, positive things with it. And just like everyone else, I picked that station and line up every few hours to check to see if it's happened yet, and it hasn't. But in my heart of hearts, and in looking at Iraq itself, the country's actually doing very well. And so where we focus our attention on our group mind is, give me a moment here, is working with the different tribes that compose the parliament of Iraq to get them to quit fighting and doing territory control, and to get along with each other and get a government going, something that's similar to what it's the way it's supposed to work in the United States. So we know that the basis of it's there. They do have incredible, unlimited resources that have never been developed. So the value is there in the dinar. It has to go up in order for them to trade nationally and internationally. Now, all the holdups, as I understand it, in recent times have been, many of them in the United States itself, by the dominators. I want to explain the difference between the dominators and those in dominion. Dominators pull everything laterally, energetically. Their support from everything laterally, whether it's material support, resources, or assets. They pull it to themselves and then distribute it back out as they please, so they can control everyone that they're distributing out to. And that's one of the good old Anunnaki things, is give a little so you can take a lot. Now, dominion, on the other hand, is a vertical source of energy that is our chakra system, that can attune into all chakra systems. And that vertical power that we have there through the 0 point, through the spiritual center in the heart, that is what dictates, and not dictates, but manifests and creates and attracts energies to us. So as we want to make a change in our lives, I'll just take one individual here, but through the chakra system, it resonates out to everyone. One individual has had problems, disappointments, or really bad, tragic things happened in the past. That sets the subconscious mind up to believe in a set of systems. And that's the truth. That's the way it is. So as the standing waves of those experiences that are stored in the physical body, in the silicon dioxide in the body, as that passes through the 0 point, it recreates it on the other side and attracts more of that into your reality. So lack attracts lack. And so that's exactly where we work, is in the 0 point, to change the standing waves of the past in the 0 point with desire and will and intent, and resonate that thought pattern forward into the future. And also we pick up the future resonance of what has been created in the future and pull that back to us as a pattern. Now, focusing our desired pattern in a group greatly amplifies that intent. And so if one person is leading a meditation and they have 10 tuned in and they are following the directive forces, it's the same as if 10,000 people were meditating alone as far as power. It's an amplitude thing. And so what we do in working with the dinar is we go to those sources of those who are blocking the revaluation of the world countries and the setting up of the new currency system, the new system of wealth management around the world. And what we do is go through Earth Mind. Earth Mind has a grid of consciousness to wherever they are and resonate up through their systems, up through their lower chakras, the desire for dominion. Now, we don't dictate, we don't control, we don't dominate. We simply send these dominion to them, which is loving, sharing, giving, empowering, nurturing, evolving, all the positive things of consciousness from the high chakras. Well, their lower chakras are directly connected into Earth Mind that holds all these domination forces that they have created in the past. And those domination forces just keep resonating up as instinctive consciousness into every person on Earth. So our great job is to break down those negative patterns in Earth Mind. Number one, we can do that by going directly into Earth Mind and just clearing those patterns, neutralizing them. It's quite easy to do. Number two, we send the positive thought implant back to Earth Mind up to this individual or what group, whatever we're working on, and give them the opportunity to make right choice rather than to be driven by the past and the domination forces of the past. And so it's just that simple. Every moment is a moment of now between the past and the future. Every moment that now completely disintegrates, collapses, and a new wave is created. And this is all done by the spiritual center in the heart. This is how we create and manifest the reality, is by tuning into the spiritual center with our intent, our need, our desire, and positive flows, and it resonates those intents out through Earth Mind, and it helps us to manifest the positive reality. You'll notice that we think there's a lot of bad things happening in the world, but there's an awful lot of really good things happening too. So it's a battle between the dark side, the opposition force, to limit our free expression of consciousness, and our high side thoughts and opinions and desires and ideals. But we're getting there. It may take a while. And beyond that, I've also learned that we're all in an ascension process, going into the fourth dimension. And how much would you like for me to go on? As far as Dinara, to answer your question there, is that by correcting the group mind consciousness or inspiring them to take right action for the benefit of the world, they will do it. And we're in that process right now. And it may take some time, but we're willing to put our energy in and keep these thought forms built up and strong and to have it happen. And it is. Don't despair. Your time is coming. It could be very near. Andrew?
That's a great explanation. And, when it comes to the revaluation, the dinar, or whatever else, because it's not just the dinar. There's a dozen other systems that say the exact same thing. And we're at a point where dominion means what? Not domination. It means exactly what Frank was saying. And you normally do a meditation at your normal hour. Maybe we can direct one that helps people at this 21st hour open up to more of this dominion energy so that we can all come into this natural energy of remedy and resolve.
Wonderful. It says, I think, on the first page of the Bible that man shall have dominion over all the creatures of the earth and the lands and the assets and everything. And that doesn't mean domination, just to take and use and abuse. It means to care for, to nurture, so that there's always abundance for every living thing on earth. Yeah, I'd love to do a meditation. My meditations are teaching meditations. As we do this, you learn how to do the steps involved in becoming a co-creator. Now, before the show started, Dave mentioned that someone else wanted to do a meditation. Is that still on the...
Afterwards.
Afterward. All right.
Afterwards. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, this meditation process we do is not where you just give away your power and wait for something to happen. You come into your own inner consciousness and become a co-creator with God as you do this. So I'll give a little more explanation this time than what we usually do, in order for everyone, the newbies particularly, can understand what the process is and what's happening. All right, here we go. Just take a deep breath. Take your attention to your forehead and move your attention back just a bit, and you're in the frontal lobes of the brain where we do the conscious reasoning, lateral plane consciousness. This is where we live, actually. Now, you're going to have to get out of that conscious reasoning mind and into the spiritual side. So take another step back, just a little bit, and you'll find indwelling in your head a light. It can be a gentle light, it can be a bright light, depending on how clear and how much work you've done. But that's the indwelling soul. That's the aspect of consciousness that has evolved in other regions, possibly, or certainly beyond Earth, that came in this age to experience being human and to learn lessons and to evolve. And in doing so, it has deliberately loses its soul memory, so it won't rely on what it's had before. But it does inspire us to make right choice. Always, your high positive indwelling soul prompts you to make right choice so you can overcome the animal consciousness of the lower chakras or the lateral consciousness of the civilization. But you can count, if you have a question of what should you do, go to the spirit center in your head and just pose the question in your mind. You don't even have to form it into words. Just ask, and you'll receive a prompting from Spirit Center that says this or this, and it'll always be to the right, into the light. It'll never take you down, and you can trust it. It's the only bit of information you can trust, it seems like, in this world. There's so much distortion and meandering going on. All right. Now, just open up. At this point, we're going to expand ourselves laterally, front, back, right, left, just turning our attention to all the other souls on earth and all the souls who are listening particularly, and we're unifying. We're beginning to unify into the one consciousness that we originated from. The one consciousness that created this earth mind school that we are experiencing. There, do you feel the power growing around you? Become a power within that power. Now, as we press laterally to unify, we will soon reach up also to unify the higher chakras with the lowers. Now come on back another step to the psychic center. The psychic center is where we consciously interact. In the soul center, it's unconscious. That's all desire and will and intent. But here in the psychic center is how we communicate with others, to pick up thought forms, individuals, through clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and the other physical psychic features. So just step back into the psychic world now. And here is the entrance to the chakra system. Here is where you individually choose what you want to express or understand or learn through the chakra system. And with that intent, You can reach out to others and influence them on the psychic level, or you can step back one more time into the unconscious level of the subconscious mind, and the higher mind and the lower mind. So step back now and just feel yourself open up, expand. Now you're tuned in to the higher levels of earth mind, the mid-late range of consciousness, the higher range of the chakra system. Now extend a flow of energy up through the top of your head. It's like asking, reaching to your oversoul, which is in another octave of frequencies, of chakras above your head. We actually have a 36 chakra system rather than 7. That oversoul, that light that you feel up there, that's the male polarity. That's the positive polarity that holds us in form. Just reach up and touch into that light and anchor into it, and bring that energy down through the top of your head, down through your body to your heart center, and just hold it there, because you're in the spirit center at that point. Now begin to take your awareness down even further below the heart. You're in the lower resonance of consciousness now, the negative polarity. Take your awareness down through the low self, and at your root chakra, realize that you don't stop there. You go right on down, deeper and deeper into the earth. And there is also a point there in earth that is Earth's chakra center, Earth's heart center. Just tune into that. Now you're on the positive side of the low self. I caution everyone to not go below that point, because below that is all the frequencies of the negative consciousness experiences that we can have on Earth. That's the hell pit. Stay out of there unless you get enough protection and want to know about it. Now just connect into your low self, heart center, and then extend yourself upward again, bringing the negative female polarity upward with you to the heart center, spirit center. And here we're unified with high positive and low negative, with the realization that the oversoul and the undersoul are what holds our mid-range of consciousness in form. All manifestation comes in the 0 point, acting on standing waves of the past, collapsing them, and recreating them in the future according to your desire or will or evolutionary need. That's the power you have. Now with that awareness, feel that extension all the way through oversoul, superconscious, down, all the way down the spine. And the first thing we do is we gain power, energy power, so we can reach out and touch things and correct things. So to pull the power, we go into Earth, because Earth has incredible power stored in every molecule on Earth. And we go to the earthquake system in the ring of fire around the Pacific. Just tune your awareness into that. Just become that ring of fire. And you'll feel immediately in your low self, in your lower chakras, an energy. It's like a stress energy. And what you're doing is reading Earth mind. You're reading the Earth chakras. and the stress that's building up in Earth from all the various factors. But all we want to do now is pull energy from that. The energy of the stress that's building up, it will be released as an earthquake or a volcano. Just tune into that force of power and pull it up your spine. Right up to your crown chakra. And right on up into Oversoul. And you feel a mighty surge of energy and power that's individualized in you as your source of power and what holds you in form. Now go again to the psychic center and do that grid, the psychic grid that we created, and extend that power out through the psychic grid. Now, this psychic grid allows you to impulse in the common consciousness of Earth thoughts, thought forms, ideas, things of a positive nature. And so what we're implanting right at this moment in the minds of every human on Earth is the need of dominion, to understand and love and cherish each other, and to share the abundance so all can grow well and equally. Also, we want to send through the 0 point of Earth now energy to all the living creatures on Earth having DNA. We send empowerment, life force, protection, nourishing to every living creature in their various cycles of Earth and reproduction and death. It's all natural, it's all wonderful. So we empower all living things on Earth now, including humans, to be in dominion, nurturing, caring, loving, sharing, abundance, co-creators through the 0 point in Earth mind. And to further enhance that pattern, we'll go back in time in the standing waves, and you do that just like moving out through your back, because the standing waves of the past come in our backs to the 0 point and resonate out the front into the future. So take your awareness now right down to your back, your heart center in the back, and expand backward, just through history as you know it, going back in history, all the way back to 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 500,000 years ago, before this particular species of humans began to evolve on Earth, or were actually created. Now we feel the perfection of Earth and Earth mind in dominion, because everything was in dominion then. Now feel in your heart center the truth of perfection of how Earth was created to be as a nurturing place for so many wonderful, abundant creatures. And feel love in your heart for the Earth. And now we're going to ask the galactic flow to come in and send us unconditional love, which is absolutely filled with all the frequencies of manifestation. So we tune in 500,000 years ago into Earth Mind. Earth Mind, which is the instinctive consciousness of everything that evolves, as stored in Earth Mind. And we begin to move that forward in time now. The pure, natural, instinctive consciousness of Earth, moving it forward, 400, 300,000. Then we start getting resistance here because of man's activities on the Earth and the pollutions. 100,000, 50,000, 10,000. Now you feel a force right at the base of your brain of opposition. Just turn your attention to that and will it away. It does not exist. It cannot exist in standing form. As we move forward to 5,000 years, clearing and releasing all the standing waves of negativity created and destruction created by humans. And as we're coming forward, we're also clearing it from earth mind. This is our intent, and this is our unified power. And you feel that flow intensify from the galactic center. You feel your hands begin to tingle. In order to use that incredible unconditional love flow, we simply focus our intent on what it is we want to happen. It happens through the group mind consciousness and resonates into earth consciousness and into the golden grid of protection around the earth that we've created. Now come forward to 1,000 years, and we're bringing dominion forward. 500 years, 100 years, right up to the present moment, and it really gets intense as we get closer to this moment. Now what is happening is that we are freeing Earth, the Earth mind, the nature spirits, of the necessity of holding a laboratory for humans to evolve in, where they could experience all things negative possible. We are releasing that laboratory now and preparing ourselves to move from the third dimension reality into the fourth dimension reality. So send your will, your desire, your intent, pulling the galactic energy through your back of your head, out your heart, because it knows what to do to correct and release all these negative things that are stored in Earth mind. Now some of you may hear a tone, a deep tone. I'll see if I can bring it up, of the galactic center. Here it comes. Put your intention on the base of your brain, at the back. Hear this tone. That's the tone of the galactic flow resonating with Earth mind. Now, in the Earth Mind think tank, when we want to, we can bring that tone forward where it's actually resonating through the computers. So we want to do that now. We want to direct that tone to the internet, through the web, to everyone on Earth. This is the tone and substance of dominion. You feel your hands getting more hot as you resonate into your computers, and with our extent, send dominion around the world. And as much as anything, we want to send the intent to clean up the programs that are in domination, even the hidden programs of the Illuminati and their minions, and the government and whoever seeks to send misenergy and misinformation out over the tube. We neutralize those standing waves. And we replace it with dominion. Now, accessing dominion and the heart center of everyone on Earth now, we're amplifying the energy. You may hear a louder tone in your head. We send total unconditional love, creating dominion and raising the frequency level of all humans all creatures on Earth up into the higher octaves of the Earth Mind Chakra, lifting people out of the depths of emotional, psychological patterns of the past which sustain domination. We release domination. It's no longer required on Earth as our teachers, and we make right choice. Right choice being dominion and all the qualities and good that we evolve from there. And as you're doing this, you're moving higher in the octave ranges of the third dimension, reaching up to the fourth. The fourth dimension is a transition zone of time and space to get us into the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is where we'll be totally living in dominion. We can take our bodies with it or not as we choose. There'll be no death, no recycling unless we choose to do so. There'll be abundance for all, access to all information. And we realize beyond all things that we are the caretakers of Earth and all living things on Earth. And so we find all the ways we possibly can to nurture Earth and take care of it as it takes care of us. As I give, so shall you receive. Now in time, as we move upward, we'll move into the fourth dimension. And as we do that, our psychic gifts and abilities will be returning to us, because by that time we will have recreated DNA strands that were taken away from us by the Anunnaki. And so look to the future with promise, knowing that these DNA strands are in our cells yet, but they are etheric. The pattern is still there, but what we're doing now is regenerating DNA strands, recreating the total high self, advanced celestial beings that we descended from to be in this physical body in our souls. But feel yourselves lifting up now and reaching toward the light above you. In that light is home. Feel the flows coming back from home, from your own galactic source. Feel love in your heart, expanding love for Earth, mind, and all living things, and particularly for humanity, as we direct and nurture humanity to make right choice. And our particular focus today is on the financial system and the release of the RV, so the abundance of those resources can be available to all equally. We thank you, guides, divas. We thank you, everyone who has contributed to this meditation, particularly the galactic beings. Now we hold the resonance that's streaming out of our hearts and our hands. We take it with us everywhere we go, and impass this to others. Impress it to others, just about through resonance. And that's how we're changing the world. And so it is. Now bring your awareness back into your spine, up your spine, back to the psychic center, and forward to the soul center. And pause here just to feel joy, the joy of our unified, evolved consciousness as we're reaching back toward home. And you'll feel that light pour in and fill you up even stronger now. Just fill up with that wonderful loving energy coming from the galactic center and your source of life and consciousness. Now step outward, forward into this reality is created by our mental efforts. And step on out forward now and open your eyes, and you're back in this physical reality. Hello, Andrew.
That was beautiful, Frank. Absolutely beautiful. A great kickoff to sharing the toolbox. And this is an example where we all stand together in arms together, because the types of meditations that you've been doing for years now have helped a tremendous amount of people, the healings and stuff. We have a tremendous new audience here. Why don't you give a way that they can contact you or anybody in the Earth Mind Think Tank?
Well, certainly. I got to get back myself here. I have a website called Psytronics.com. Psi means mind, tronic means power. It's PSI-TRONICS.com. Psytronics, mind, power. And it's got a lot of my stuff on it, tools and things, and dowsing tools, and we're constantly adding more to it. Now, my email is fljordan@cable1.net. That's CABLEONE.net. One word. And Wolf Spirit Radio, of course, you can contact the archives of, over 100 shows now that we've done in the past, and each one has a learning lesson in it. Each one of those shows and meditations will expand your consciousness a little more. You can find those all in the Wolf Spirit archives, and other ways to contact us also. And the members of my think tank group are, let's see, how can you access that? If you'd like to talk to any of these people individually, you can. I'm sure they would be pleased to help you. But we'll discuss that and post something to where you can access these people to find out their experiences and what their growth has been since we've been participating in this. There are some wonderful individuals here. Okay.
I got one last question for you. And this is something I'm going to be posing to all the guests that come on to this marathon. How do you compare 2012, comparison and contrast, to 2013? You're an energy worker. You've been around. What was 2012 compared to 2013?
Well, before 2012, it was expectation. Everybody was insecure. They didn't know what was going to happen, if the world was going to disappear or what. But what happened is a shift of consciousness where people became more aware of positive choices. And that's exactly what happened. We came out of that last 26,000 years of being inspired and driven literally by the opposition force and domination to make right choice. If you didn't make right choice, ultimately you took yourself out, because domination always self-destructs. And so what I see happening there is it freed up people to make right choice. And I, in my heart, can't see and understand how anyone or why anyone would make wrong choice, meaning for domination, as opposed to all the wonderful benefits of dominion, where you continue life and go on. In domination, unfortunately, you get to cycle again and again and again until you get the lesson right. And so we're moving out of the recycle process here, and it's by our own personal empowerment and choices that we do this. As we reach up and ask, the flows come back through, and waking up your DNA, your whole past life consciousness, and you download and assimilate the information from those past lives for one person only, and that is you. And so you can move on in your soul growth. So you can be a co-creator with everyone else out there that's rising at the same levels that you are. And so the big lesson is that shift of consciousness between 12 and 13 that is accelerating. That's where we learn to make right choice and ask and reach and listen. I talk a lot about listening. Rather than listening to the domination side that streams out over the radio and TV and movies constantly, listen to the positive side, that deep inner voice that prompts you to make right choice. And that's the basis of it, and that's all it is.
That's such an incredible way of putting it. I'm so glad that you were able to come here and just do what it is that you do and share your experience in the system and tool that you have, so people can start what I call the a la carte belief system, where they can get out of a single belief system and get into the infinite belief system, where essentially everyone is right at one level. We're here via a system of agreements on our soul layer, and that is to resolve our understanding of what free will is and how we come to use it through our heart space connected with the earth mind, connected to why we're here.
That's exactly right. And we're getting greater inspiration all the time from the galactics, too. They realize that it's time to bring
Not sure. I think Frank dropped over there.
Here we go again. Frank
Yeah. Well, sometimes those live radio shows